Tommy Hilfiger IRF Rising Star Challenge, where India's top business schools present strategies for retail, creating a retail business which delivers positive social impact. Just to let everybody know, whoever is in the room, that more than 300 students from 20 top business schools from India battled it out. There was a competition, out of which 3 have been shortlisted. The teams are here. They will make a presentation. Some of those who participated include, of course, ISB, Wellinkar, Somayas, Jamnalal Bajaj, ISB Mohali, SIBM Pune, MICA, IIM Ahmedabad, NMIMS, IIM Indore, XLRI, and IIT Mumbai. I will now invite the 3 judges who I believe will be seated on the front panel, or Moa, you want them to be, they can come on stage. All right, Rohit Singh, President of Tommy Hilfiger. Rohit Singh, or they want to be seated there? Okay, perfect. You guys want to come on the front row? Deepak Manik, Group MD of Retail Support Group. Can you raise your hand? Oh, that's Deepak. All right, there's your judges, guys, so be nice to them. And we have Sudhir Pai from Hamleys. Oh, that's you, Sudhir. All right. So we have Rohit, Deepak, and Sudhir. Is that right? Got all of you right? You got your metrics, your paperwork. So I will invite the first team just to give a brief background about what this competition was about. Entrepreneurship is not strictly about making money. It is about doing something bigger than yourself, something that creates social impact. It is how one does well by doing good. So this is the 4th edition of the Rising Star Challenge, which brings together the brightest young minds to put their best foot forward with a business plan entailing the creation of a retail business which delivers positive social impact. We've heard a lot this morning talking about community, engagement. A socially impactful retail business is a great way to establish a leadership position in the eyes of the customer and can help to achieve the differentiation of a retail brand in a crowded pool of competitors. Long term, it can create a loyal following of consumers who benefit from the product or service and from buyers that want to support socially conscious establishments. I think it's a very relevant topic. We'll be excited to hear what the young students say. In a day and age where brand loyalty is suspect and on a huge downhill, people say that the switching cost is so low, everybody just looks for the better price. But how do you do that? We heard some great insights from industry players like Amazon and Snapdeal in the morning. May I now invite the first team from ISB, Team Retail Dynamos, to make their presentation. You have about 15 minutes each to make your presentation. So ISB, please come on stage. And it's about 4:15, so you will end at 4:30. I'm assuming there'll be a buzzer to buzz you out. Welcome aboard.
One of the things I hear my mom most often complaining about is the lack of people for doing her daily household chores. What is most astonishing is, on one hand, we have millions of Indians who complain about lack of household services, blue-collar job workers. On the other hand, we have still more millions of Indians complaining unskilled in the unorganized sector. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The team from Indian School of Business, we present before you Saral, the doorstep delivery of household services. The agenda for the next 15 minutes is as follows. So we will present before you the huge opportunity available, the huge amount of customer demand, both on the demand side and the supply side, and what we as Saral will do to bridge the gap between the demand and the supply. And then we'll take you through our entire business model. When I talk about household services, obviously a plethora of services open up before us. So we will now focus on only one aspect of service, that is plumbing. So when we take plumbing, you can see so many newspapers and articles talking about it. So the Hindu says that we'll require about 12 lakh plumbers by 2020. And the impact is spoken about by the WHO, the Indian Plumbing Association, and whatnot. So there is a huge demand. So why haven't we capitalized on this? Why do we have so few plumbers in India? So just an analysis gives us 3 main reasons for it. First of all, there's lack of training opportunity. So as you can see, NSDC met only 16.5% of this total skilling target. And imagine NSDC is like the biggest organization in India supplying blue-collar job workers. So they have met only 16.5%, and only just 0.5% of the plumbers are actually trained today. One hand, we have lack of training opportunity. The other reason for this is even the government organizations, they require a basic education certificate, which obviously people from our rural market do not have. Like almost 20 of the courses, they require a class 8 certificate. The remaining around 90 odd courses require a class 10 certificate. The other side, of course, we have impatient investors. So there are very few private players in this industry. The other hand, we have social stigma, because a lot of social stigma is attached to the blue collar job as such. Not only in plumbing, a similar gap exists in almost every other service that we can hear and see of. Like for example, you can see the automobile industry, the factories, the railway industry, the supermarkets, the salespersons we require. The list is just endless. Like almost 86% of the labor force is in the unorganized sector. So what can we as a brand do to bridge the gap between the demand and the supply? So this is what we're going to do. The overview is very simple. We know there's a huge potential, and what they require is just skilled services. So we'll tap the potential in the unskilled market, take them, train them, and then supply them. That's what we're doing. So we're going to start with a basic service, electrical and plumbing service, and then the potential doorstep offerings are just enormous. We could just start from car wash to treating terminally ill patients, beautician services, and so on. And what is the social value? Are we just any other organization, any other brand model in the industry? So what impact can we have as an organization? So we have just come up with a threefold social benefit. Obviously, the basic financial benefits. So we are offering guaranteed employment. So now in the unorganized sector, they do not have guaranteed employment. It's more of, whenever someone calls them, they just go and do it. So we're giving guaranteed employment, fixed salary. They're having health, life insurance, and they have good protection laws, because as the B-Plan competition was about making a plan on a 100 crore industry. We're also offering soft skills, career opportunities, career growth, graded skill training, retraining services, and we have good working conditions. And there's also a social stigma attached to all this. So why isn't a person, a blue-collar worker, proud of his job? Why isn't his son proud that his father is a plumber, is an electrician? So we want a worker to not just be a plumber, he has to be the health keeper of the nation. That's how WHO defines the meaning of plumber. So we are also going to offer opportunity for deaf, dumb persons, for women, and offer meaningful migration. So obviously, since there's so much potential, there are certain competitors in the market. What can we as Saral offer? What is our value proposition? So basically, we're changing the entire game. We're changing the sequence from the unorganized to the organized sector. So since we're already a 100 crore company, we're going to leverage the existing customer base. And this model is going to be multi-city and multi-service model. And we are going to diversify. So we start with electrical and plumbing, and we diversify to other areas as well. So we'll also utilize the local informal markets, the mandis, that's where laborers generally come from today. So we'll also leverage on that.
Yeah, so continuing from where she left off, we would have this as a business model. On the supply side, what we would recommend is that we would have all our people, or rather all our organized, unorganized sector resources retrained and trained so that they are available for taking over the required jobs as soon as the demand on the demand side comes. And on the demand side, as soon as demand comes, then it will be our job to aggregate all that demand, to pool that into one place, and then to distribute all that demand to the various resources. And this will be done through GPS tracking, because we'll have the resources already stationed at various locations, and we'll have GPS tracking through which this demand will be catered in those specific places. This is the 4P analysis of the business which we are proposing. We provide our product services in two services, that is in individuals and in contractual places, and in both of these we guarantee quality assurance for both of them. Coming to price, the question is what would be a good price for such type of a product? We say that it will be tiered according to the segment which we are targeting. Similarly, coming to place, we would say that we want to target top tier metros, and that's because the growth potential there is maximum. Then coming to promotions, we would say that online, since it's growing in a big way, online, and since we already have a customer base which already has been catered to and existing, we would like to leverage that through word of mouth, discounts, and ads.
So you've seen our model. Now, how are we so different in each of our activities? Are we any other general company which actually meets supply and demand, or there is anything special about it? So this is our value chain. Let's take sourcing first. So how do we source our suppliers? So our suppliers are plumbers, let's say for this analysis. So we have a target of both individual, community level, and at the institutional level. At the individual level, we want to go to villages, have partnership with the headman of the village, panchayat, and the existing local structures. Now, government has many schemes at the institutional level also. We have MNREGS, which after the ITI it has started, and Ajivika is a centrally sponsored scheme for involving skills. So we want to partner at the institutional level, and also at the community level, we want to partner with self-help groups. So we also want to have a HUL-like model where we empower women, and she is the face of our company to source the workers. Now next, training. So WHO says, so if you plan well, so a standardized module of plumbing which actually meets the conduct of plumbing standards, world standards in 3 months. So we want to standardize our training modules, and since to cope up with the technology fast moving, we want to upgrade as well as reskill the workers. And this is certified because this is the tangible benefit our training will give. So the worker can use this certificate to go to other places or migrate or to any other city and use it. Now, and also to be more efficient, we also use cross-training techniques of plumbing as well as electricians. Now last, operations. How different are we in operations? So technology-wise, as my friend spoke, we use GPS technology. A customer can actually call, use a mobile app, SMS, or place an order at our office. So we also give a service warranty. We do this, you can see the stakeholder analysis. We do this at a multiple level. So at a sourcing level, as I said, we partner with government bodies. At a training level, we partner with spare parts as well as Bosch kind of bodies. Operations, we are partnering with gateways, payment gateways, and others. Now, financials. How do we finance our project? Seems attractive, but how can we get the finance? So for simplicity's sake, we've taken a comparable firm which is already there in the market and taking its debt equity structure first. And also, since it's a socially generating project, and NSDC would be more than happy to partner with us. And capital expenditure, yes, technology is required. We have setup costs, we have training center, and the office costs. And operations-wise, these are the revenue and expenses. Major revenue comes from the institutional as well as individual customers. And these are the major operational expenses. Now, just for numbers, we've taken one city and one service, electrical and plumbing in the city of Hyderabad. So these are the financial projections. So our company would be breaking even in second to third year. And after that, we have a growth phase. And for every service, we have a target of 20% of market share. So when we hit that mark, we would be moving to other services. And so this is the roadmap. So roadmap can be, as I said, diversifying across the services as well as across the geographical areas. So they say Bombay and Delhi are the topmost cities by 2020 in the world GDP consumption. So we want to move to tier 1 metros. So every service, we want to try out a pilot because geographically and culturally, every place is different in India. So we want to try out with a pilot and see the most profitable services and carry on from there. And after the launch, as I said, we're going to expand if we hit our target mark. And Saral should become the one-stop solution for all household services. Yes, when all services are launched, here are the numbers, how it look. Now, every B plan, as far as I saw in my small tenure, every B plan starts with a break-even analysis. But as far as we tried, we never got something called break-even because it's always profitable. This is the potential the service has. And that's what, so we try targeting the top 5 metros. Okay, everything is fine and good, but is everything rosy in reality? No, there are many key challenges which we would come across. These are the main supply side and operations challenges. On the demand side, I just want to make one thing. Morning, I heard a lecture from Vivesh. BCG, that there is a digital age coming. So now only people are getting accustomed to ordering online. Now maybe you're not accustomed to ordering a plumbing service online, but this is what we want to generate. And these are our key approaches to challenges. So we retrain, and so that's it. Thank you.
Next team, is there any order, or I can call anyone? Anyone, okay. Wellingers, Unshackled Focus. The team from Wellingers, please come and make your presentation. 15 minutes.
A very good evening to one and all from the team Unshackled Focus. With social impact as a thought, we as a team, Parul, Tejas and myself Pooja, have developed a business plan for an existing company called Virya, an apparel and ready-made garment company which will now get into recycling. Retail in India contributes for 14 to 15% of GDP. Indian retail is worth 2,500 billion and has been growing at a CAGR of 12%, out of which apparel industry is worth 3,300 billion and has been growing at a CAGR of 9.5%, which is the largest contributor in the organized retail segment and the most profitable industry. In the apparel segment, the ready-made garment industry is worth 2,100 billion approx with a CAGR of 7.9%, in which the domestic apparel market is 61% with a CAGR of 5.5%, out of which 47% is men apparel market, 45% is women apparel market, and kids being 8%. Our major target group is going to be that of the 92% market of men's and women apparel. Apparel industry being our core, let me introduce you to what Virya does. Currently, Virya has 17 regional suppliers across the country. Now, these suppliers approach the rural artisans and weavers. The artisans show the yardage to the SRC. The SRC approaches the designers for approval of cloth and sample designs. Post the designer's work, they get the approval from the committee, after which the price is finalized and the order is placed with the weaver. He then brings the complete order to the SRC. On demand from the Virya store, and stock moves to the warehouse, then to the Virya store, and thus the customer purchase takes place. Now, some of the pain points that we witnessed with the textile and apparel industry as we interviewed few of our stakeholders were as follows. Where to dump the waste? Lack of knowledge regarding recycling. What to do with the unwanted clothes? Municipal landfills reaching Mount Everest. Rise of environmental pollution due to occupational waste. Now, considering these pain points, we thought of an idea. But before that, we had to understand the market need. On our visit to two of the apparel manufacturing companies, some of the insights that we came across were there was a 3 to 5% of operational waste due to sew and cut of daily operations. Company A had a daily wastage of 30 kgs per day, whereas Company B had a wastage of 166 kgs per day. The waste was termed by them as chindi. It was further sold to rack pickers at 15 per kg, which is further sold to factories for cleaning purposes at 20 to 25 per kg. When we further asked a few of our customers, people said they don't prefer to buy cloths made from recycled material because they are seen down market or tacky. Understanding the pain points and consideration of insights, we decided of a business model of recycling. This is what our business model is. Customers would come and drop in their unused or unwanted clothes at the Virya store, where they would be paid in accordance to per kg, where the cloths would be selected on basis of usability or the condition of the cloth. The cloths would be recycled at a recycling unit and sent to the regional suppliers. The suppliers would approach the designers for sample design, and after deciding on them, the costing and approval is done by the Virya team, post which the material and designs are given to the artisans or the craftsmen for making the products, on completion of which they are sent back to the regional supplier. These products are then supplied to the Virya store on demand. The other apparel or unused waste would be collected from rack pickers, industrial waste, or through the campaigns.
Hello, yeah. So this is our initial sourcing plan. We make sure that the bulk of our raw material comes from textile units and the balance in equal proportions from the unorganized sector such as rack pickers and from our existing customers using promotions and loyalty schemes. We'll be buying material at roughly 6 times the actual market price and offer good prices to our stakeholders to create a heavy incentive for recycling of clothes. Rag pickers and unorganized players will especially benefit from the better margin, which will be on average rupees 100 rupees per kg. These are a few statistics associated with recycling. On an average, around 20 tons of assorted waste cloths will on an average give you 1 ton of usable cloth. So you have a conversion rate of 5%. This translates to roughly 0.6 meters of cloth for every 1 kg. Yeah, keeping this in mind, if you want to create a single apparel unit, it will take around 5 kgs of waste cloth. We'll be buying the fabric at a rate of 170 rupees per meter as compared to the lowest quality of cotton available in the market at 25 rupees per meter. So there's a very clear cash incentive which is given to our suppliers. The remaining waste material will be used for as stuffing for handloom and bedding products and also as insulation material. This is our value chain and manufacturing processes associated. Yeah. So we collect material into we transform collected material into usable cloth by cleaning and sorting, which will be done by 16 people, and later cutting using 2 sets of GM 900 and GM 800C textile cutting machines, which will require total 6 operators and support staff. The usable material will then be opened. That is basically the fabric is torn into 2 parts and former. Yeah, which will require 2 operators, which will create the open cloth material. Around 60% of this particular material will be available as stuffing for handloom and bedding products and also as cheap insulation material. So what do we do with the recycled fabrics? The recycled fabric available after cutting and sorting will be sampled and itemized. Based on the quantities of materials we receive, we create a design brief which will be portrayed as part of our design competitions, which will be conducted across the fashion schools in India. This will provide us a platform for around 1 lakh aspiring designers to come up with unique designs for recycled fabrics. The top 5 designs for each product category will be shortlisted by a panel of 3 prominent professional designers, and these will then be used to create products by rural artisans, which shall be marketed by us. The winning designers will get royalties from the sales of items along with brand creation for themselves. And in the process, we'll be creating 500 new jobs for rural artisans to match our annual production target of 50 to 70 lakh units per year. These are the broad 8 product categories which we have in mind. The average ticket size will be around rupees 700. This is a sample of the competition poster which we'll be having across fashion schools. As these products are seen as down market or tacky, we take the help of the best fashion design talent in the country to come up with new and interesting designs which will now make the recycled clothes trendy. So it's just not a cash incentive, but it's a very clear brand incentive which we'll be creating. Based on the location planning study which we conducted, the ideal location for the recycle unit is Solapur, and the area will be around 45,000 square feet with an annual rent of 20 lakhs per year. The total machinery cost, that is the cutting machines as well as the opening machines, will be around rupees 20 crores, and the labor cost will be around 33 lakhs per year. Making use of low industrial rent rates as well as to ensure good transportation and logistic network for our existing 17 suppliers, Solapur will be the ideal location.
Yeah, so coming to the target group, who will be our customers? One who will be selling unused or unwanted apparel, and one who will be buying recycled products from the store. We have made few customer profiles. So she's Mrs. Anita Sharma, a middle-aged career-oriented lady, works at a major retail store and a socialist, and she's an active member of an NGO. She is Mrs. Poonam Shah, a standardized housewife. She's fond of cooking and shopping, often ends up with a lot of unused and unwanted clothes. And she is Miss Karishma Rao. She resides at Vashi, an MBA student, fashion conscious, and keeps an eye out for upcoming trends. These are few of our business risks with our extended business model. The standardization of the product along with the quality, consistency, and supply chain risk, as our model is a decentralized model. Now coming to our financials, our projected sales having been growing from 266 to 675 crores in 3 years, with sales target as 1% of the total market share, and our operating profitability ratio from 17% to 27%, whereas our profits are growing from 22 crores in current year to 97 crores, which is the net profitability ratio growing from 8.3 to 14.4%. The return on our capital employed increases from 39% to 153%, and our break-even volume happens at 12 lakh units at a worth of 84 crores. With an initial investment of 121 crores, our discounted payback period is 2 years, 5 months. Okay, we have made a marketing campaign which would happen across 2 weeks. The 2-week pre-launch would be through newspaper jackets and radio in form of teasers and short ads. The objective being to increase the curiosity with print media as a major channel. In the next week, to make it to go viral, we would promote it through web banners on shopping websites, social media via Facebook, Twitter promotions, send mailers and text messages to existing customers, hence generating brand recall. Awareness in schools and colleges via various contests and designing contests for designers. The objective being familiarizing target audience about the concept of business with social media as a major channel. Now during the launch, we would have our ads in newspaper jacket, social media promotions, discount offers, and referral schemes in stores and malls, thus creating high impulse and urge to attract more customers. For this entire campaign, our approximate campaign viewership would be 1 crore. This is the poster, a sample poster which we have made for the marketing campaign. Our tagline is bring the scrap, get the benefits. And we will also have a Facebook page wherein we will be promoting our campaigns and also publishing pictures of customers who would be selling above 100 kgs. They will be provided discount coupons from Virya, putting post of customer success in terms of their individual impact. This would be to gain publicity and attract customers, further which they could even get loyalty benefits. Now, social impact being the most important aspect of our extended business model, we would promote recycling of textiles by preventing 20,000 tons of textile waste from being dumped. And also by encouraging customers by giving them cash incentives of rupees 200 per kg. And even the rag pickers by giving them 6 times the margin, therefore fulfilling their basic aspirations. We also provide an opportunity for around 1 lakh designers from the country to showcase their talents and ideas. We make recycled products attractive and hip by ensuring unique designs, hence minimizing the stigma associated with recycled products. With all this, we promote eco-fashion. And these are few pictures from the primary research. Thank you.
So the last finalist of the evening is a team from KJ Somaya, the dream team. Are you guys here?
Okay, a very good evening to all of you. We, the team from KJ Somaya, are here to bring to you Respire, flowers and more. The one thing in India that is involved in every celebration, that is involved in every event, are flowers. They might be floral arrangements, they might be bouquets, they might be garlands, they might be individual loose flowers, they might be cut flowers. But it defines our celebrations, it defines what we do as individuals in India. So this is our retail chain outlet, Respire, flowers and more. Before we get into Respire, let's have a small sneak peek into the floriculture industry of India. These are certain facts and figures as far as the area under floriculture in India is concerned. One thing that I would like to tell you from observation that we had while our primary research in the Dadar market of Mumbai, which is kind of a hub for distribution of flowers, is that it's highly unorganized. There are trade unions involved, there are multiple vendors, there is a sub-distribution channel which is complicated and at the same time unorganized. So that is one thing that we wanted to concentrate on and focus to make it an organized channel and bring it into a proper retail segmentation. As far as loose flowers and cut flowers are concerned, just for the further reference in the presentation, I'd like to say loose flowers are flowers that are sold individually, and cut flowers are the roses and the lilies and the sunflowers that you get with the stem. So cut flowers come under loose flowers, and that is what we'll go ahead with. And India is a very high valued exporter internationally. We stand consistently second or third in flower exports, and that end is pretty organized, but the retail is what we need to concentrate on. Okay, moving ahead, the umbrella of Respire, 3 segments, floral arrangements, loose flowers and services. It would be a proper standalone store comprising of everything from traditional garlands to modern bouquets to loose flowers, as I mentioned before, saplings for flowers if end consumers need it. We would also be We'll also be providing services for corporate types, as in for business organizations, and for third-party wedding and party planners, so as to give them solutions for their floral needs. Okay, as every industry and every company has a mission statement, this is what we wish to adhere to. Three main aspects of our mission statement, of our approach towards this business, would be the product aspect, the economic, and the social aspect. The product aspect would contain of two very primary things. One, no compromise on quality, and two, which is a very important functional differentiator for us, which is no seasonal fluctuations in prices. India, being an unorganized market for flowers, has a very seasonal fluctuation. Festivals, Indian festivals or celebration days like Valentine's Day and Friendship's Day see a surge in prices. This is what we wish to maintain through our linear integrated, vertically integrated supply chain, and which will be explained further. The social aspect of our organization would see to it that every stakeholder, internal and external, gets a due fare out of this business and is not unethically cheated for more money. There's an important aspect of our business plan contains having contract farmers as the source for our flowers, so that they get the due price for what they are producing, and they are free to sell the excess outside, thus giving them that independence and that hold over their own production. Who we cater to, our target audience. Our target audience is broadly categorized, as I mentioned before, walk-in customers, business organizations, and wedding and party planners. We would be primarily looking at SEC A-B, socioeconomic class A and B. This would be an outlet where you go for a very unique buying experience for flowers. It's not where you go vendor hopping and haggle for prices. It's a set location where you go in, you know what you need, or you figure out as an impulse buy what you want to buy, and come out happily with your shopping and your experience. Now, as far as business organizations are concerned, what we plan on doing is having corporate tie-ups for events, obviously, and making customized packages as thank you notes or as a welcome to be sent to their clients. We would be doing deliveries also. What we provide is a one-stop shop for floral needs. As I mentioned before, the vendor hopping and the haggling of prices is something that is eliminated at this retail chain. We provide a wide spectrum of products as far as pre-arranged bouquets, floral arrangements are concerned. This is our product portfolio, which will be explained. As far as retailing goes, we aim at a unique floral experience, as I told you. The major focus would be standalone stores, no presence, as in the initial phase, no presence in malls or in shop-in-shop formats. We would go with standalone stores because we want to we want customers to have that impulse buy factor also when they go out for buying flowers. These are locations and certain locations that we have scouted as being the perfect areas where Respire would function successfully. These are locations where, typically the locations where hawkers are not allowed, thus the challenge that we would face as competition from the unorganized market would be eliminated, and customers would be comfortable getting in and buying the products. This is a typical retail store layout that I was talking about. A center stand for bouquets, parasite holdings for gajras, garland stands, a traditional corner for mogras and white shevantis and the flowers that we use for devotion and puja, a billing and packaging counter, a storage and mini workshop behind for customized floral arrangements and packaging. I would like to call upon Vispy to take the presentation further.
Thank you, Yash. This is how our business revenue model would be. Basically, we would be catering season-wise. The reason being, India being a festival country, you can say the majority of the festivals are present in the duration from September to January, which starts with Ganesh Chaturthi, then followed by Diwali and Dashera as well. So what we plan to do is we plan to have attractive discounts, and we do not wish to raise the prices during this particular festivals. The reason being, if you observed in an unorganized market in India, during the festival seasons, there's certain surge in the prices of the flowers. So we are trying to avoid that. Moreover, there are, like he said, we would be indulging in the contract farming. So there are chances that during certain surge in the demands, our contract farmers would not be able to justify our demand. So what we can do is, for that particular duration, we can rope in, different lands and different flowers from different wholesale buying as well. What we can do is, we plan to have Make My Package desk. That's for customized bouquets. And we also offer garlands, bouquets, and floral arrangements as per the festive seasons. So that's basically bundling of flowers with a chocolate or a greeting card if a client needs it, if a business organization needs to send it to the client. Coming to the financials part, this is basically a bird's eye view about the financials. We've taken two cut flowers. So one is the gerbera and the other is the carnation. If we look at the per hectare yield, we get net returns of 7.6, whereas the cost involved in the cultivation, that's including the fixed cost, which involves setting up of the greenhouse stations and procuring the land, everything would account to around 11.12 lakhs. This basically is for the Bengaluru region that we've obtained, and this remains more or less same throughout the country. Coming to one of the most important part, that's the social impact. Like he said, we would be indulging in the contract farming that would be empowering farmers. Basically, our aim is to remove the middlemen who are the main root cause of the price surge. The next thing is the dry flowers to the Indian Agricultural Research Institute. Indian Agricultural Research Institute basically started a program somewhere in 2012 wherein they rope in women employees who are given dry flowers and they are given certain set of procedures that needs to be followed for preparing the decorative dry flowers arrangements. So this is basically, we are aiming at restructuring the supply chain. This is the present supply chain that we came across in the Dadar market of Mumbai. So if we observe this, it has, from the farmers to the end consumers, there are lots of middlemen in between. So there are aggregators who get different kinds of flowers from different farmers and then they auction it in the market, which are taken by the market traders and then given to the small retailers, and which in turn goes to the end consumers, which results in the price surge. So what we plan to do in Respire is we aim to eliminate the middlemen. We aim to eliminate the middlemen wherein what we plan to do is contracted farmers. So we would be taking the flowers and everything from the contracted farmers and we'll be having our distribution centers in Pune and Bangalore. The reason being the production would be done only in Pune and Bangalore because of the favorable climates. And from these distribution centers, it will be supplied to the retail outlets and then to the end consumers. So based on these findings, after this, we plan to scale up our business across the country. From these 4 cities, we plan to rope in the entire India. Then we plan to have an omni-channel presence wherein we'll have an online website as well to cater to the online audience, and then cash on delivery as well for this. Thank you.
So can I ask a question to you guys? Did any one of your girlfriends inspire you to set up this business? It looks like if you want to get into the flower business, somebody has to have asked for the demand part of it. But how many of you actually visited a flower? The other market. But where actually flowers are grown, did you ever go there?
Last year, when I was near the Talegaon area of Pune, I think 2 of us were there last year. When this business plan was not there. So we visited Talegaon and we saw how the farmers were going. They had this, you can say, a local a cooperator to whom the farmers report, the cluster manager basically, to whom the farmer reports. And that's how we came across with this idea of eliminating the middlemen. Okay, so I think the judges will take about a couple of minutes. Can I call the other 2 teams up on stage as well, please? ISB and Wellinkers. So we have Rohit, Deepak and Sudhir, who have
spend some precious time listening to them. Can I ask you guys a question? Sure. Yeah, just one quick question. When you guys went to business schools, would you have made this presentation? Would you have managed to figure this detailing out?
No, I think we ended up doing a little bit more of detailing. I mean,
wow.
so yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but you know, I'd like to say one from three did its bit in terms of what would have been expected out of them, considering that the caliber of schools they come from. But yes, I think we did do our bit also nowadays. You know,
so the kids are on the right track pretty much. Go ahead, announce the results if you can.
I think the guys have done a wonderful job. I think we were glad to be here. And thank you, first of all. A big thank you to both the organizers as well as all the three participating teams who have made it to this stage. I think this itself can be called a victory of sorts, because, you know, you sort of made it to this grade. After that, it really should not matter to any of you, okay, in terms of who's technically number one, number two, and number three. I mean, these things do happen in life, because ultimately we got to pick up only one winner. And then there's a first runner-up and there's a second runner-up. But let me just quickly share with you, with the permission of my co-members of the jury, as to what are the kind of, you know, parameters, what are the kind of criteria that we considered while making an effort, shall I say, to objectively evaluate all three of you. So the first of all, I think the first was a concept, of course. Concept not only in terms of the relevance to the theme, which is social impact, but also in terms of sheer conceptual clarity, okay? Your own sort of understanding of that concept, and then how appealing you have made it out to be, okay? All these things that we have considered. We also then went into communication. Now, communication is not only fluency of communication. It's not about how good or how bad English are you guys speaking. I'm not expecting Queen's language from you. That's not the idea. The idea is the flow of thinking, okay? And the simplicity with which you've been able to communicate or convey to your audience as to what is that subject all about, okay? And how successfully you've been able to do it. Third thing was, of course, team effort. I mean, how three of you or four members, whatever you guys are together, you've been able to put it together as a team. Then, of course, we looked at sanctity of data, the authenticity to an extent. I mean, in some cases, of course, no complaints or no regrets, but I think particularly when the data comes from government bodies, you know, national board and whatever, all that, these numbers are likely to be more archaic than anything else, you know, because they may not be relevant in today's times, right? Just to give you an example, I think somebody was talking about the export value being some 455.90 crores, am I right? Yes. That I thought was a very undermined kind of a number, but I don't blame them, because the source were
available from 2011.
No wonder. That's exactly what I mean. So when you
I think I'll just add a very small point. Yeah, so it's great because you know that the data is from 2011. You should have mentioned it there. So you know it gives the audience as well as the judges a perspective on the. No, you mentioned where the data was from, but it didn't mention the date. You know, yeah. So and then you've shown years in your numbers. You said 2015, 2016 is what we'll do, but the data is outdated for the time. Sure, no, I mean, we're just making a point. We're not trying to say you did something wrong.
Keep this in mind when you make bigger presentations in life, okay, where you may not have an audience which is so kind, okay? I mean, you got to present facts and figures, numbers. You better be very, very sure of what you're presenting and where the data is coming from. The last but not the least we said was the time consumed. I think you've been given 15 minutes. So I was wondering why the first team finished in just about 12 minutes.
Actually, everybody did below time.
Yeah, I mean, why should you do that? You got 15 minutes, go ahead and do it. I mean, there are speakers I've seen here going on and on and on, and you have to tell them to stop it. You guys have to use your time, so I think keep that in mind. You've been given that time is precious. Use it to your advantage, okay? Having said that, I think both your co-members, we've come to almost a unanimous kind of a conclusion, okay? So any guesses who the winner is? Yeah. Pardon me? Which is?
Which one?
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Wellington.
Wellington, indeed it is.
Fantastic.
The winner in our economy.
Congratulations. The team from Wellington has taken the first spot in the Tommy Hilfiger IRF Rising Star Challenge.
Please.
I think I'd also like to add why we selected them unanimously. Yes, I think one is the concept was very innovative. Okay, yes, a lot of people have talked about this. It was socio-entrepreneurial in terms of the way they did it, and they had a very neat and clean presentation, very with a great user experience around it, very basic but good visuals to explain all the data by way of. So great job, Wellington. Yeah.
Congratulations, guys, and good encouragement to a young team from Wellingtons about the way they have thought it through.